What's up, everybody? And thank you for jumping on to Steelers to Go, your daily to-go cup of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. I'm Noah Strackbein. Find us on youtube.com/All Steelers Talk or anywhere you get your podcasts. Today, we're talking about the biggest backup quarterback controversy, to hit the NFL. Mason Rudolph, originally listed as the number 2 on Pittsburgh Steelers depth chart, moves to number 3 after 19 hours. Upon the release of the original depth chart, Kenny Pickett bumps him to 2, and people lost their mind. Let's talk about it. Mike Tomlin labeled it as a clerical error, a copy and paste mishap that has sent Steelers Nation into a frenzy. Nobody believed that Mason Rudolph was the number 2 quarterback heading into the day, but they were shocked to see that he was. And then 19 hours later, after everything has calmed down and the universe starts to just slowly relax and give in to the Mason Rudolph has somehow beat out Kenny Pickett, boom, the Pittsburgh Steelers drop a new depth chart with Kenny Pickett as the number 2 and Mason Rudolph as the number 3. And immediately, everybody starts talking. So what happened? Took 19 hours. And let me tell you, I make mistakes all the time. I'm a journalist, and pretty much every single day I get told by somebody somewhere that I am wrong about something. Stinks. Never do I wait 19 hours to fix it. That's just not what I do. And truthfully, I don't know if I'd have a job if it took me 19 hours to find the correct information and then give it to the public, let alone have a job where it literally sent hundreds of thousands of people into a complete tornado of chaos because of a backup quarterback. It's not just any backup quarterback. It's the first round pick of the 2022 NFL draft. It's the first quarterback that looks like the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers since Ben Roethlisberger. This is the next generation of Pittsburgh Steelers football. And for 19 hours, it looked like somehow, some way, he wasn't even going to get a helmet for the 2022 season. Complete madness took over. Complete chaos. Nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew how to react, including myself. I believed that Kenny Pickett was looking at a guy who was going to spend his entire season on the bench, every single game. And then I started thinking, well, we talked all summer about who should be the backup and who should be the third string and whether or not Kenny Pickett is reliable enough to replace Mitch Trubisky in case of an emergency. Well, if the emergency happened in game, the way I looked at it is the Pittsburgh Steelers were just rocking with Mason Rudolph. And they were saying, well, he is our safety blanket, but apparently he's also our backup plan. 19 hours. It took 19 hours for somebody to say, nope, that's the wrong depth chart. There's probably 100 people that work for the Pittsburgh Steelers, 100 people that saw the depth chart release, 100 people that watched every single person lose their mind about it. And it took 19 hours. Why? That's the big question. Why? People are all over. Conspiracy theories are flying around. I'm getting tagged on Twitter every couple of hours like, clerical error? Seriously? They were just trying to boost Mason Rudolph's draft stock. They were just messing with him. What? I think that's the craziest part here is we've somehow turned a backup quarterback competition that doesn't matter at all between two guys who probably both deserve to be a backup in the NFL right now into a conspiracy theory. A big one at that. Is it real? That's the question. Is it real? Did they do this just to give a last-minute push to Mason Rudolph's trade value? Did they do this because it was just an honest mistake and somehow it slipped through the cracks for nearly a whole day? Did they do it because of a million different reasons? That we don't know. But I can tell you this. There's a couple of things I'm going to rule out here. For one, I don't believe it was to mess with anybody, and I don't believe it was a last-second change. I don't believe that it took 19 hours for Mike Tomlin to go, never mind, I want Kenny to be the number 2. I don't believe that's what happened. I also don't believe that it was a trade thing, but that one makes way more sense than the rest of them. Because the third option is that everybody missed it for 19 hours. And I've hung around the Pittsburgh Steelers for the last 4 years. And what I can tell you is that they don't miss anything. Nothing. I once tweeted out that Chris Boswell was like 4 for 4 in field goals during practice. And I thought it was a portion of practice that you could tweet things out in. It took them less than a minute to come up to me and say, yo, take down that tweet. I didn't even see anybody on their phones who could have possibly seen it. Most of the PR staff doesn't even follow me, and none of them followed me at that point. Took them less than a minute. They make mistakes constantly. Everybody does make mistakes constantly. But to not realize the backup quarterback for 19 hours, it is not as if this is a small competition. It is not as if this was any other position. This was the biggest talking point of the entire summer. This is exactly what every single person who covers, watches, roots for, or hates the Pittsburgh Steelers have paid attention to all summer long. It is exactly what people wanted to wait for. It is the only thing people cared about waiting for. Everybody knew that Mitch Trubisky was going to start, and still the quarterback competition between Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett was red hot. And you missed it for 19 hours. The PR staff is 7 people deep. It's hard to believe that somebody missed it for 19 hours. And that's where I get confused, because I don't believe the conspiracy theories, and I try not to. I believe that most times conspiracy theories are just somebody's shooting something into the dark and hoping that it catches on. But sometimes they make sense. In this case, they don't. What does Mason Rudolph being a number 2 quarterback have to do with his trade value? I think honestly, teams are going to call more if he's the number 3, because now they're looking at it like, oh, okay, well, he's on the bench. And to say that, oh, well, they're looking for a 3rd round pick, they know they're not getting a 3rd round pick. The NFL knows they're not getting a 3rd round pick. That's just not going to happen. But maybe they'll get a 6th. And I think that honestly, a team that needs a quarterback is going to look at Mason Rudolph sitting as the 3rd string and say, oh, well, that's a guy that doesn't really have a place in Pittsburgh right now. Let's see if we could get him. Whereas if he's the number 2, they're not going to call and say, well, we don't believe Kenny Pickett's ready, but we're going to try to take your backup quarterback option. I think being a 3rd stringer somewhat boosts Mason Rudolph's trade stock. There's no way the quarterbacks didn't know. And that's the second one is, oh, well, it was just a last minute decision. No, Mike Tomlin walked into the quarterback room on Monday and said, this is how it's going to work. Mitch, you're going to start. Kenny, you're going to be the number 2. And Mason, you're going to be the number 3. And everybody said, okay, sounds good. And then they moved on with their lives. That's exactly how that went down. There's no way that they were shocked by this. And yes, like it probably pulled a leg, and like Mason probably got a little excited and Kenny probably got a little disappointed. And then once they realized, it was probably back to business, and everybody was like, oh, okay, I get it. Sounds good. But 19 hours is so long. What happened in those 19 hours? How did this slip through the cracks? How did nobody check the internet for 19 hours? That's what I don't get, and I don't think we'll ever have an answer to. Nobody knows what happened in those 19 hours. But what we do know is that this was not just a copy and paste error. It just wasn't. And if it was originally, there's something behind letting it go for 19 hours. There's a reason for that. Everything in an NFL organization is down to detail. This is as scripted of a business as they come. There is a reason behind everything. And as crazy as it sounds, as much as I don't believe the conspiracy theories, as much as I don't have an answer for it, there is definitely a reason that it took 19 hours for the Pittsburgh Steelers to correct their backup quarterback spot on the depth chart. Football is back, baby, and our new sponsor, True Classic, wants you to look and feel your best even after a couple of brewskis or going full force on your fantasy football draft. Sure, it's football season, but it's also butt to couch season. Luckily, True Classic has the absolute best fitting clothes a man can buy. Snug in the arms and chest with a little extra space in the torso, their t-shirts are designed to keep you cozy and highlight your best assets no matter what you're up to. So, if your special someone is upset that you're watching football all day, the least you can do is look good doing it. True Classic has already helped over 2 million men find the perfect fit at an affordable price. Our listeners today get access to the best deal they offer for a limited time only. Get 25% off with our code ALLSteelers at trueclassic.com. Almost all men's t-shirts are designed to look good on skinny models with six packs, but most of us aren't packing anything but a few beers. Fellas, you are wearing the wrong clothes. True Classic tees taper off towards the bottom, but they fit tighter around the chest and shoulders. It's time to highlight your best attributes with a t-shirt you can confidently throw on. Not only are you finally getting a t-shirt designed for the male body, but the first thing you'll notice is how soft it is. The colors are prime too, and you could even match your team of choice. True Classic doesn't just stop at tees. They are your one-stop shop for men's essentials. From polos and workout shirts with the same flattering fit to boxer briefs designed with the pouch to keep your bulge nice and comfortable, all of their gear is top-notch quality at reasonable prices. They have this dope pack builder on their website where you can custom bundle all of their essential products and save even more than the discount we're offering you today. And for the defensive size players out there, they have the long body options for the tall guys and up to 3XL on their staple colors. Whether you have abs or flabs, their clothes look great on all body types. Let's stop beer belly shaming with better clothes. Men, let's be team players here. Upgrade your wardrobe at True Classic and help your friends out by telling them about these tees as well. From tall guys like Steve's, Active Paul's, or average Greg's, True Classic has your back. It's about time you get your fit together. Upgrade your wardrobe at True Classic. Get 25% off at trueclassic.com with our code ALLSteelers. Free shipping is included on purchases over $100. That's 25% off at trueclassic.com with our code ALLSteelers. If there's one bet you should make this football season, it's True Classic. True Classic. Look good, feel good.